Hello, my name is Stephen Keys. I'm Executive Sponsor for Corporate Social Responsibility here at IFS. IFS is sponsoring the 1333 Bikeathon this year. The Bikeathon is a 1,333 kilometre, 13-day bike ride around Sri Lanka to promote the 1333 toll-free crisis support line that helps prevent suicide in Sri Lanka. Joining me today to talk about this event is Jetha Devapura, founder and CEO of the CCC Foundation that runs the 1333 toll-free number. And we also welcome Kumar Sangakkara, cricketing legend, MCC chairman and ambassador for the CCC Foundation. Welcome to you both.
Thanks for having us, Dave. Be here.
Fantastic. Jetha, I'm going to start with you. Please, can you give us a brief overview of what the 1333 Bikeathon is all about and why it matters?
Absolutely, Steve. Look, predominantly the 1333 Bikeathon is to promote our 1333 phone number for our toll-free and counseling service in Sri Lanka. It's a crisis support line. Now, from a timing perspective, this ride happens on the 29th of August, starting from Colombo, on a grueling and pretty fun ride. And, Kumar would watch that. Riding 1333 kilometers, 1,332 kilometers around Sri Lanka, back to Colombo on the 10th of September on World Suicide Prevention Day. So really the ultimate aim of the ride is to prevent suicide in Sri Lanka by encouraging people to call 1333, if they have a worry or a concern before it escalates to bigger issues, including mental health and even suicide. Now, we get about 2,500 calls every month to our crisis support line. And during the Bikeathon, this number actually almost doubles. So it does work. And I remember a story, and I'm not sure if Kumar, I told Kumar this in previous rides. I remember a person who saw us riding, called 1333. And after talking to the crisis supporter for maybe about 30 minutes, he said, hold on, can you just hold on for a minute? I just want to get off this bridge. Wow. So Steve, on that day, they were going to die by suicide by jumping off the bridge. But after talking to our crisis supporters, they decided to leave, and they actually called back and thanked us.
Wow, that's a phenomenal story. It really underpins the importance of that toll-free number. Thank you. Kumar, this year, IFS is sponsoring the Bikeathon jerseys that will be worn during the ride. We employ over 1,600 staff in Sri Lanka. We've got deep roots there, and I guess we're hoping that some of our staff will be able to participate in this year's ride. You've taken part in that ride before. What should they expect? What's it like to ride in the Bikeathon?
Well, I think first of all, your staff is more than welcome to join. I think the more that join makes our message stronger and ability to reach more people through the ride even better. I think that's very, very important that the numbers keep increasing every year in terms of participants, especially because when we do rides through Sri Lanka, most of the time we pick areas where mental health crises is a real issue. And then when we do cycle through those areas, as Jetha mentioned before, we have community outreach, we have community connect and connection by sharing information, awareness, just talking really about mental health issues, and also what CCC line 1333 offers in terms of support. And what they can expect is, if they haven't trained to ride a bike for a long time or long distances, a very tough few hours every day on the bike, in good warm weather, but something that is a lot of fun and very, very fulfilling, whether you join for just one leg of the ride, a few of them, or the entirety of it. You will walk away feeling extremely tired, but also very, very fulfilled that you have joined in something which I've found over the years to be essential something that is very wholesome and very good, and is aimed at providing a very, very essential service to the Sri Lankan community. So start training early is my advice. Start riding, prepare your body. And also, Sri Lanka is a beautiful country to ride through. Stunning scenery. You ride through the coast sometimes through hopefully small hill straight. Maybe not really steep ones this year, but I think it also builds a huge sense of camaraderie, and it gives you a new perspective. So I think it'll be a wonderful thing for your staff to join, and anyone else as well.
Fantastic. Well, great promotion for the event. Thank you. Maybe a follow-up question to you, Kumar. Clearly, mental health and well-being is a really important topic, not just in the wider community, but perhaps especially in elite sports like Test cricket. I'd like to ask, how did you cope with mental health and well-being throughout your Test career?
I think that's a very important question, especially historically in terms of cricket, because as a sport, over the years, a lot of players retiring from cricket have gone through mental health issues, including, culminating at times in suicide as well. So it's been a very, very important issue for us to address in cricket. Over the years, it's always been considered, if you take cricket historically being more a male-dominated sport, even though women's cricket is now growing exponentially, which is wonderful for the sport and gives us new markets and avenues and a huge amount of new spectators coming in because of women's and girls' cricket. It was at times considered weak to really talk about mental health or mental health issues. You really didn't want to share. No one really picked up on telltale signs. No one really focused on it as being a very important part of team and player management and elite performance. And in situations where you're constantly away from home, in new environments, in high-pressure situations, asked to deliver extreme performance time and time again. Sometimes the person gets ignored. And I think it's really important to have a really good support network in your team, in your wider community, family, friends. And now with COVID especially, and team bubbles in operation around the world for many sports, teams around the world have really focused very intently on providing support services within the team framework. So they hire experts who will advise them on how to create your COVID bubbles so that there is downtime, there is relaxation, there is time away. There are opportunities for players to have counseling, support, really talk and converse. And you have experts within the team that will also watch for telltale signs and be proactive with it. So we've done very well over the years. Not very well over the years, but especially now, having recognized historic issues,
Yes.
I think teams have started to really focus in on as a very essential support service.
Very good. Very interesting. Thank you for sharing that. That's really interesting insights. Jetha, I'm aware that in addition to the 1333 toll-free number, the CCC Foundation also runs the Let's Talk educational program to promote mental well-being and health in schools, in the workplace, and it's certainly something that IFS has been involved in the recent past. Could you explain a little bit more about that program and how it came about, please?
Yeah, sure, Steve. Look, I mean, as many people call 1333, there are many people who don't, okay? And end of the day, the main reasons that people call 1333, and there's many reasons, but predominantly the three main reasons is relationship issues, loneliness, economic pressures. And in some form or another, we've all gone through those, reasons in our own lives as well. But to actually bypass, your mom, dad, husband, wife, brother, sister, neighbor, and actually call a 1333 phone line, it just I just wasn't, it didn't sit right with me. And I always say we need to build the village that's broken, So I jokingly say to the manager at 1333 in Sri Lanka, I say, hey, Ranil, if we were a business, we should be planning to go out of business. So let's talk. Let's talk is really about encouraging everyday people to have that confidence to talk about their concerns before they escalate to bigger issues like mental health and obviously suicide. So, we train people at IFS, as you know, we did about 4 groups there.
Yeah.
There's some amazing results. You can share that with us a bit later, but we also run that program in schools here. And I was running a program here in Melbourne where I live, and one of the schools, I was talking to the principal, and she was saying, they do a survey called in School Connectedness Survey. It's a bigger survey, but one of the metrics is school connectedness of how students link with connected to teachers. And before doing Let's Talk, it was 78% positive, and a year and a half later, it was 89%, which is amazing testimonial to the program. And so we're rolling out in schools. We want more workplaces like IFS to come on board. But the feedback from IFS, your organization, has been amazing too.
That's been great. No, look, it certainly helped to create a sense of psychological safety in the workplace. We have 10% of our regional workforce now as IFS mentors. And when we look at things like employee engagement surveys, we've seen uplifts in terms of a sense of meaningful work, a sense of connectedness, and a sense of having someone in the workplace that people can turn to when they need to have a bit of a chat about something that might be concerning them. So we really appreciate the work that we've been able to do with the Let's Talk program. That's for sure.
Well done. Yeah.
Kumar, maybe one for you. We're sponsoring the Bikeathon jersey. It's not the only jersey we're sponsoring this year. IFS is also sponsoring the jersey for the Sri Lankan cricket team as part of their upcoming T20 tour of England. We're super excited. For us, it's a way to demonstrate pride, given our deep roots in Sri Lanka. But I have to ask, did you get a call up to the first team?
I'm way too old.
Oh, come on. It wasn't that long ago. You scored 78 not out. Was it 78 against India back in 2009?
That's a long time ago. Long time ago. But I think the Sri Lankan team's already here in England. I'm in England at the moment, and I'm here in Southampton for the World Test Championships. Yeah. Sri Lanka starts on the 23rd in Cardiff in terms of T20 cricket. And I have no doubt that they'll do very, very well. Sri Lanka at the moment is even though they've had inconsistent results, I still think they're a very competitive side, very talented, a lot of potential, and hopefully they'll have a lot of fun playing here. Really express themselves, and the skill will make a difference in terms of winning the series. So. It'd be an interesting time for me, because I'll be at the games as well as a commentator, so I'll be getting a first-hand view of your jersey as well as the team.
Fantastic. Any key players to look out for? Could you maybe identify one or two key players in Sri Lanka?
I think quite a few of them, starting from Kushal Janit Pereira to the new quarter, the new fast bowlers coming through. Some of them are great stories from how they started and how they ended up in the national side, from Kusal Mendes. All these players have so much to offer the team, not just in terms of skill. I think personalities and characters count for a lot when what they bring to the mix in terms of thoughts, ideas, and opinions. So it'll be interesting to see how they turn out. They're quite young, dynamic. So I think as a whole, it'll be good to watch them on the field as they grow through this and develop into a really good team over the next few years.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that, Kumar. I appreciate that. And thank you also, Jetha. Best of luck to you both for the Bikeathon this year. Jetha, maybe for folks who are interested, how can they get involved and show their support for this fantastic cause?
Fantastic. Look, I mean, the Sri Lankan ride is going ahead this year obviously, from Melbourne, we have lots of riders going normally, but because of COVID-19, we're not making it this year, but there's I think over 10 or 12 riders so far in Sri Lanka that's taking part in this September's ride or August-September ride. So they can definitely look up us on social media. There's the CCT Foundation social media page, and also the Let's Talk social media page, and all that information will be there. And also, Steve, we are actually doing a bike ride here in Melbourne.
All right.
To obviously on to create awareness about mental health here in Melbourne, and to also raise some funds for Sri Lanka to keep 1333 going as well. So all that stuff can be found on social media on the Let's Talk program and also Let's Talk program website. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, well, look, once again, thank you very much, Jeff, for your time. Thank you also, Kumar. Good luck with the commentating in England. Thank you both again for your time.
You're welcome. Thanks, Kumar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Thanks, Steve.